Sometimes I think you just have to play mind games with yourself to get the motivation rolling, and I think that this one works beautifully. From 2025 onwards, I have decided that I'm doing something differently. I'm taking a whole new approach. I think a kinder approach. A chilled approach. I have decided that I am setting quests, not goals. It's taken some time, like a whole year actually, to properly unpack this idea for myself and make it more actionable. I realized that when we think about traditional goal setting and like how we take them on, it requires an ego-like focus, and perfection is the only acceptable avenue. All of these things don't really match how life works, and especially disabled life doesn't work that way. But quests, on the other hand, they have way more room for growth and learning and detours and plot twists. And everybody knows we love a good plot twist over here. So I'm gonna share why I'm super excited to go on quests. I feel they have become my way of planning to be successful and also happier in how I do things. And you can use them too. Here's why I want to go on quests rather than set goals. First of all, goals are rigid. Goals are like, did you do the thing? Yes or no. There's no nuance or context, or there's not a lot of grace. But quests acknowledge that life moves and shifts and there are surprises everywhere. And sometimes you get knocked down or sideways and you can keep going, even if the plan changes. Secondly, quests feel like a journey and not a test. When you're on a quest, you aren't being graded. Like, no one's gonna sit at the end and be like, you got this much right. You are just experiencing something. Like, you're collecting clues and learning skills and meeting new people and getting people to come on the adventure with you, and you're trying things out. Third, quests are fun. It's fun, and goals often just feel like admin. If something feels fun, if you're having fun, you're way more likely to stick to doing that thing and more excited about doing it on a regular basis. But if it feels like admin, I don't want to do admin. Who likes doing admin? Growth isn't always measurable with a tick box. You don't see all the beautiful things in a checkbox, but you do on a quest. So goals are really different to quests in that, like, a goal is about output and feels like pressure, and like they're very much about the destination. And you can fail really easily at a goal. But when you think about quests, they're about evolution and possibility, and it's a journey. And they can expand more naturally because you've left room for them to expand. Give us permission to adapt and change direction if required without feeling like you're abandoning ship. Like, your quest is continuing. It just looks different. And that's the whole point. Okay, so here's how I'm actually envisioning how to make this work for myself, and like actually how I plan to plan my year using the quest method. So the first part of the plan is kind of just having a reflective moment and thinking and asking questions like what worked and what didn't work. It gives like a sense of direction, I guess, and like where I want to go and what adventures and journeys I want to go on. And I think it's very much about like envisioning and visualizing where I want to be and building the quest around that. It's like, where do I want to learn stuff? Where do I want to grow? What am I curious about? I'm gonna sound really woo-woo, but like, what am I feeling pulled towards? Because I feel like we don't allow our intuition to guide us as much as we could, and intuition is helpful sometimes. We're allowed to be curious about things. I want to allow myself to grow and learn, and where I feel the curiosity is the strongest, like that's where my quests are gonna live. That's where I'm gonna focus my energy. And they don't have to be long term things. They don't have to last the entire year for it to be a quest that counts. A quest can be really quick and it can be a quick win and we can move on to the next one and go on a new adventure. You're allowed to go on as many quests as you want. Side quests, main quests, whatever. It's about embracing the fact that it's a journey. I think the most important thing to remember in this is that quests evolve. So we have to check in with ourselves regularly to make sure that like we still want these things and have a moment to like reflect and adjust and pivot if we need to and then carry on. There's no guilt. It's not like, oh, I failed at this. You're not starting from scratch. You've just shifted direction. A big thing that I think is magical in planning this way is that I make the plan in November, not January. Here's why. Because November, even though we're like so tired from existing this entire time, it's wild because everybody's trying to like wrap up stuff and like tie pretty bows on things that it's exhausting. But November gives time to think about things, and then you make the plan and you think about the quests that you want to go on. And December is like a gentle place to kind of get moving on it, and there's no real pressure because that's not when the plans need to be happening. But you're starting. You're taking the first little baby step towards the quest. It's like I'm finding a map or I'm designing a template so that I can make things easier when I actually get to doing the quest. Then it's kind of you're just kind of settling in to the place. It's like the first day when you're traveling somewhere and you've been going for 48 hours to get to wherever that place is, and you arrive at the accommodation and you're like, huh, this is nice. That's what December is. And then you get to January, and that just turns into like a continuation of the journey instead of this frantic, chaotic start that everybody is there and panicking about how fast we're gonna get to the next step. We can be chilled, and by the time we get to the New Year's resolution slump in like 3 weeks into January, I'm already like cruising because the momentum started way before January, and that's awesome. That feels good to me. I feel like that shift alone has changed how grounded and prepared I feel for going into the new year because I know what I'm doing then. I'm already ready. Yay. So I hope all of that made some sense and that you have a little bit of a picture as to why I'm shifting my mindset towards quests instead of it feels more spacious to me. It feels more fun. I want to have more fun. We should all want to have more fun. If goals have always been this thing that stresses you out and created this huge pressure in your life, or your years just feel like they never go to plan and it's never played out in a straight line, because when do they ever do that? Maybe quests are for you. We can start small. Just pick one thing that you want to explore, one curiosity, and then we can just see how it goes. And just let that one thing be your quest. It's fine. You don't need 55. You just need one that gets you really excited. And then it's a vibe. So, here's to treating life like the adventure that it is and embracing the ridiculousness one quest at a time. In the next video, I am sharing my 2025 quests. I do need to say that I decided they were quests in November last year, but they were kind of just goals dressed as quests. So this year we're shifting it up a little bit, but the next video will be what the 2025 quests were, what worked, what didn't work, what I actually ended up achieving, and the things that I'm planning to change for 2026 and moving forward. So if you are curious about my real life questing, then you should subscribe and turn on the notifications so that you can check that one out. Okay? Okay, cool. I'll see you next time.